What's up, guys? Hybrid Mongoose here, and welcome to another Hybrid Mongoose podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Loki number 2 and 3. I'm actually by myself. I know my best friend joined me on the last one, but I decided to record this too late. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to record this solo, and that's okay. So this is going to be mostly covering, Loki number 2 and 3. And I got to say, this show has definitely caught me by surprise. Honestly, I was not interested in Loki. Itself didn't sound appealing to me. But the writing of this show, the TVA, all this other stuff, this is so flippin' cool. And I'm going to put on the headphones real quick because my coworker sent me a TikTok. And I know TikTok, out of all things, that actually shows something that's pretty amazing in the actual. There's a theory, and I want you guys to hear the theory first, real quick, because this kind of blew my mind. I was just like, "What?" So check this out. Let's listen to this together, and then we can talk about it. It's gonna open up a lot of doors on everything. So one second. So let me refresh this.
Have you heard of the Loki theory?
No.
Okay. Let me pop that up real quick. Okay, I'm going to refresh it so we can just listen to it together, and then we can all talk about this as a class. Okay, so check this out.
Loki's 2 episodes in so far, and he's stuck in the TVA. And the TVA stands for Time Variance Authority.
Right.
So this is where the theory comes in. There's a theory that Loki in the TVA is actually stuck in the quantum realm.
Wait, how?
Remember in AntMan and the Wasp when they're in the quantum realm? You see like a city in the distance?
Oh, I remember that.
That's the TVA.
What?
Remember the Wasp
Yeah,
mom was stuck in the
whoa.
quantum realm? And she said that time moves differently in the quantum realm.
Uh-huh.
And then Ant-Man got stuck in the quantum realm, and he thought he was there for 5 minutes, but he was there for 5 years, and he said that time moves differently in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
So then Loki asked Mobius, how long have you been here for? And Mobius tells him, I don't know, time moves differently in the TVA.
Wait.
So Mobius and Loki time travel using the TVA through the quantum realm. And guess who else used the quantum realm to time travel? The Avengers.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And get this, the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie is called Quantumania, and it takes place in the quantum realm. And the main villain is Kang the Conqueror, and Kang the Conqueror is one of the timekeepers in the show Loki.
Wait, what the heck?
Confirming that they may actually be in the quantum realm.
Wait, this is crazy how much sense it's making.
Right? Have you heard?
So that's the theory right there, that actually the TVA is in the actual quantum realm, which is insane if you think about that. Like, my mind was like, whoa, that's actually true. And he was saying, time moves differently, all these other things, like I said in the name. My mind just exploded. So if this is actually true, when Ant-Man actually went really, really small and he saw that city in the distance, that was the TVA, which is incredible. So that means that the Loki, what we're seeing right now in Loki, is coming to a head with the new Ant-Man movie, which is called Quantumania, I think they said, which is this is all starting to piece together. And I'm super excited to see what Marvel's doing. The writing in the show has made me really enjoy it. And I have to say, it might be my favorite Marvel. It might be my favorite Marvel TV show so far. Honestly, I can't wait for the next one now because the writing is so good. So in the second Loki episode, I'm just going to do a quick recap because probably you guys are thinking about the third one. But in the second one, it gets revealed, that it's a female Loki. They're searching for it. And at the very end of that episode, she just runs amok and just starts dropping all these, bombs everywhere and disrupting the timeline. And she goes through a portal, and then Loki follows her at the end of that episode. And that episode is really cool because I do like Owen Wilson's character and how he plays off of everything. And, that whole episode of where they're trying to figure out, they're hiding in apocalypses and all this other stuff. It's like everything is so clever about this show. They really go far on everything, and it's so cool. There's also another Easter egg that the Enchantress, that it's actually not female Loki. It's actually another character called Enchantress, and the names do line up. She said her name is Sylvie, and if you look up Enchantress, Marvel, what's her name? Her name is Sylvie, which is Like, that's crazy to think of. I don't know if it's actually the same Enchantress from the Marvel comic books, but it seem like it, because and that was an Easter egg actually from the first episode when you saw her. No, actually the second episode. I guess there was something in the Spanish credits that said her name was Sylvie, and then people started putting it together, and they were like, wait, that's Enchantress, and then all of her powers are to enchant. So they keep calling her, so far in the show, they've never called her Enchantress, but they've called her Sylvie, which is also the character's name. So that's kind of like, wait a second, this is opening up even, that's just one Easter egg that I saw online. So that's crazy. So I don't blame Loki for leaving, because obviously he has nothing else to lose. And he is like, this character is out there doing stuff that he wasn't able to do. So I get why he left. So the beginning of the third episode, obviously they are fighting each other, but the whole tone of this is so cool. They get stuck on Lamentus, and they find out that the end of this episode, I mean, they're trying to get on the train and all this other stuff, and they're fighting with each other, and they start to talk about, their lives. Did you know you're adopted? All this other stuff, and they're like, they told me, and Loki said he found out later, and like they're comparing things between each other, and it was a good riff, but the whole tone of the music, even like the mood, the vibes you get from this show, I love it. It's got like a 80s like kind of Blade Runner feel to it, and I'm digging it. I'm like, this is cool. So, and like I said, Loki, not a character that I originally liked. I was just like, meh, Loki's okay, whatever. So, but yeah, no, it's the writing is so clever and it's so good. I'm just like, man, this show is amazing. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, and like that episode is so good. So they find out they're on Lamentus. They find out that comet is coming, and I guess all the people, they went to the Ark, where this big ship that take them off the planet. The bad part is that they know in the future that this Ark just crashes, so they know that nobody makes it, but they try to sneak onto the train anyway and actually get over there. So they find their way onto the train. Loki gets all drunk and all this other stuff and gets all crazy. Then they have a fight. They get out of there, and then they just start, basically the guards are on to them, so they have to get out of there. And they have to jump off the train. So then they decide that they're going to, walk all the way there. Now, when they start walking there, the big huge thing that was revealed in this episode was the fact that everyone in the TVA is a variant, which is insane, because I think you're going to see more of that in the next episode, because there was a trailer for it. So I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but so every single person, even the guards and everyone else, are all a variant. So that's kind of crazy to think of, right? Like, maybe they're brainwashed. Maybe they don't have actual free will for all this stuff, So that's just, I'm just starting to think like, that's insane. It was also cool how they explain their powers. Like, she was explaining how she can enchant stuff and all this stuff, and then like Loki was explaining that he learned a lot of his magic from his mother, and he was like showing fireworks and all this other stuff. That was a cool back and forth between the two. It sounds weird, but I do feel like there may be some kind of relationship thing going on. I don't know if you guys like foresaw that as well. I kind of feel like they could like end up being together or something in this weird way, even though technically they're a variant of themselves. Would that be weird? Maybe. I don't know. Is it? So it's like yeah. And then they're talking about their love lives, and they're talking about how they're like basically bisexual and all that stuff, which is fine, whatever, cool, whatever floats your boat. Is it surprising to know that Loki has been with men and women? Not really, so it's just like, okay, cool, and then it's just funny that they're actually very different. Like she learned all her powers herself apparently, and like I don't even know how, but yeah, she learned all of her powers on her own completely. And I actually wonder more. Next episode is going to reveal a lot more because I believe that she grew up in the TVA and as a child. So this is a little bit different of a situation. Maybe she was a variant that they couldn't kill. Maybe she was ooh, I wonder. I wonder if she was a variant and that she couldn't like be tricked like the other people, right? And that way they had to like raise her in the TVA as a child and they couldn't kill her because she was just a kid. Huh. I wonder if that's actually going to be true when it comes to it. Like when it gets down to it. So yeah, I know I'm talking about a lot of different stuff, so it's just funny. So, so they get the one thing that actually shocked me too is they're trying to get onto the Ark, even though they know it explodes and whatever. And their theory was like, oh, we've never been on the Ark, so why wouldn't it work for us? Which is okay, sure. Sure, they've never been on it in the past, so if they figure maybe if they can get on it, they can recharge the teleporter thing that they have and get out of there. The weird part, though, the one of the things that I saw that I was just like, wait a second, how? There was like a building that was like falling onto Loki, and out of nowhere he did like this like mind thing where the building didn't fall on him, it just like stopped and then like flew up into the air, and I was just like, wait a second. How did he ever get that power? Like, he never had that power before. Like, and I actually brought this up to my brothers too. I was like, because they watched it, and I was like, did you find that weird as well? And he's like, yeah. How did he stop an entire building from falling on them, and then it like flipped back up? I'm really excited to see how this comes all to a head, like how this all comes together, because this is going to be. You got AntMan, you got I think eventually Doctor Strange is going to get involved with Vision in the Scarlet Witch. That whole thing is going to wrap up together. Then you're going to have AntMan in the Quantum Realm with Kang the Conqueror in with Loki and everyone else in there in the TVA. It's going to be super interesting to see exactly how this all happens and all of that stuff. Also, I didn't even mention it. I got a haircut. I decided to just buzz my head. Honestly, I just wanted. It's summer, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just buzzing my head. I think I look okay with a shaved head, so it's just like, or like a buzzed head. So I'm just like, meh. Shave it off. Save me time in the morning to not have to, do my hair and all that other stuff. So yeah, no, there's just a lot of cool little Easter eggs that they're throwing in this as well. Like I tend to look that up and go, okay, what are they doing? Like what are they throwing in there? Because there's a lot of interesting things that they're doing. And it's cool that they're also using apocalypses from like that like are not in the past. Well, they did one for in the past, Pompeii, I think, or whatever, but they did like 2055 and the Lamentus was 2077. So it's just like, how many apocalypses are there? Just like, what the heck? It just makes you wonder, And apparently there is a one-horned lady Loki, which is kind of interesting as well. So, like in the comic books is what I'm saying. There is a one horn. So I don't know if they're using two different characters or what. Who knows what they're doing? But I mean, it's cool to see all these little Easter eggs. Like it's almost like the whole WandaVision thing where they had that Silver Surfer, and you're like, or not Silver Surfer, Quicksilver, and you're like, oh, it's multiverse, and then they're like, haha, no, it's just Jim down the street or whatever. So it's just like, It's like, who knows what they're doing? I like what they're doing, but it doesn't have to be exact to the comics. No, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. So that's okay. But way to go, Marvel Studios, for actually pulling this off and making it cool. Because I gotta say, like, honestly, I had no interest in this. I was just like, I'm gonna watch it now. And now, funny enough, my coworkers will get mad at me if I miss watching it on time with them. They'll be like, why didn't you watch it? Oh my God. So it's just like, I get it. So I wonder if what Lady Loki said is true, though. Are they actually all variants in the TVA? It's super interesting to think of, because it's like, well, wait a second. What did all these other people do to break the sacred timeline, right? Like, are we going to start seeing backstories on like the guards, on whatever? Are they going to snap out of it and realize, like, wait a second, like, I'm supposed to be on Earth or whatever, right? Like say you as a person all of a sudden got captured by them for breaking the time law or the sacred timeline, whatever, right? Wouldn't you be like, wait, I want to go back to Earth? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to live in the quantum realm, and all that stuff, because it's like, it's just funny. I don't know. And if you get, wait a second. So Ant-Man got stuck so when Ant-Man got stuck in the quantum realm, time moved like so far, so fast. He was only in there for X amount of time, and then when he got out, his like daughter was like old, you know. And so I wonder it just makes me wonder what's actually happening to the actual timeline in the Marvel Universe right now. I think we're going to find out more about that in the Ant-Man actual movie. Because, like, I don't know. It's really cool when shows like TV shows can actually work with time travel and have it make sense. And I know I mentioned it in the last podcast with my best friend, but having that whole back and forth with having it actually, like, time travel is hard to do correctly. It's something that's like, it can be like so lame if you do it wrong. And right away you were like, whoa, this is actually cool. So it's just like, they're already pulling it off. I just cannot wait to see what they're going to do. And I wonder how many episodes it's going to be in total. It's just, the show has completely blown me away. I'd be honest. Like, it has far exceeded all of my expectations, especially coming from someone who didn't even care about Loki. You know, it's just like this is, I have high hopes for this show now, and I'm like, this is going to be awesome. Also, oh yeah, and the way that the Lady Loki, or Sylvie, knew that the people are variants is because when she did the mind warp, or the Enchantress took the guard and was trying to find information from her, she had to use an actual memory from a long time ago, and that was when that guard was actually on Earth drinking like margaritas someplace. So it's just really crazy that if they're all variants, I mean, I feel like there's got to be like some kind of revolt that's going to happen where they're going to be like, hey, you know, why did you take us? Why did you blah, blah, blah? You know, like, I think that's just going to be crazy. So I'm actually reading an article right now. It's from inverse.com, and it's talking about what I was talking about, how Loki used this telekinesis power to defend himself. And I'm going to read this because it's just like, what? So it says, at the climax of Lament's apocalypse, Loki uses telekinesis to defend himself from a falling building. But it says exactly what we're thinking. It says, but hang on. If Loki can use telekinesis all the time, why wasn't he using it to ward off the agents or even Sylvie as various people thought, in this episode prior. While Loki does technically possess telekinetic powers, they are rarely seen within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In fact, the last time they were used on screen was Thor: The Dark World, where he was behind bars and he used these abilities to trash his holding cell. But is his power strong enough to defend against a falling building or a building falling down? Possibly, if he's actually inside an illusion engineered to specifically manipulate him. That's So I guess he does have telekinesis powers, as they explained. I guess that solves it right there. He used powers in Thor: The Dark World, but and now I need to look it up. Thor: The Dark World, Loki. All right, got it up on the screen right now. Let's take a look at it. And those of you watching, I'll describe what's happening. Oh, so he gets all mad, and then the everything flies everywhere. Okay. But that doesn't explain it though. That was only like a small amount. Like he got mad and all these chairs and stuff went flying everywhere. But that's chairs. That's not a falling building. Am I crazy for like nitpicking this? I'm like, come on. He couldn't stop a falling building. He just threw some chairs around in his cell. Okay. Anyway, I'm like nitpicking this like crazy. I'm looking forward to episode 3. I will be covering that as well in the next podcast. I know this podcast is kind of turned into a Marvel podcast, but that's what I want to talk about it. So deal with it. Also, okay. Well, let's talk about Pokemon Go just a little bit. Apparently, a lot of people did not like the changes coming to Pokemon Go, especially people that are still having concerns with lockdowns and things like that. Lots of parts of Asia are not actually clear like they are for the United States, so that makes it a lot harder. So there was a big outrage. Oh my god, I don't think anybody liked the updates coming in. The distance and all that other stuff. I talked about it in a previous video, so I'm not going to get completely into it, but all I can say is, words really do hurt, and there are real people behind these Twitter handles and all this other stuff. So treat everybody with respect, and it's good to get your voice out there, but it's not good to overdo it and have people bully people, because there was an incident. I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but there's an incident where someone deleted their Twitter that works for Niantic, and it was because they're being bullied, and just like you thinking of one of your favorite creators like me, I can't talk to Niantic. I'm just like them. In most of the bigger YouTubers can't talk to Niantic either in terms of what needs to be done. So I just wanted to throw this in at the last part of the podcast. Treat everybody with respect. Even the staff members of Niantic have feelings, and they're working hard as well, and they may not have choice. They may not have the power to change it either. They may just be doing their job. So take that into consideration. The only thing we can do to get our voice heard for Niantic is to let them know, but you shouldn't harass one of the staff members. That's all I'm going to say. So anyway, that is going to do it for the podcast, guys. Hope you liked and enjoyed it. And it's good to be back in the groove of things. And I just want to say I appreciate and love you guys. You guys are great. I don't care what they say. You're cool. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.